Have a technical issue with our number 2 engine. We have dealt with the situation at the moment. The aircraft is secure at this stage. We're going to have to hold for some time whilst we do lighten our load by dumping some fuel.
I was sitting in the the seat number C, which is, my son was on at the window and my husband was in the middle and I was in C, so I couldn't see directly, outside straight away. But my son saw, he believes, an explosion of some debris from the wing, and it sounded like a shotgun going off, a loud shotgun, something to that effect. And then I thought, oh, gee, that's not normal. That doesn't sound right. I've never, in all my years of flying, I've never ever heard a noise like that before. And so he said, oh, what the hell? We sort of said, what the hell was that? And we look at it, and he said, oh, God. You could see, debris on the wing. The wing had perforated and started pulling back. There was a hole in the wing, probably about the size of a soccer ball. We couldn't see, obviously, the extent of the damage, which we saw later on when we landed, and that is, the engine, basically half the casing falling off, and the engine obviously burnt out. But so all we could really see was the damage to the wing. And for that moment, we sort of thought, what's going to happen next? Is the plane going to lose control? Or you have all these sinister things going through your mind. But it seemed to be pretty much travelling as normal.
And your son is 16 years of age. What did he say?
Holy shit. What was that?
And how long after you became aware that there was a problem, was there an announcement by the pilot?
Probably about 5 minutes.
Okay, and...
He announced that we had there was an explosion and there's some damage to the plane, to possibly one of the engines, and they would need to assess the situation. Yeah. And within, a minute of him announcing that I think the 2 pilots came down at separate occasions down the aisle and had a look through the window at the damage to the wing.
Did they look through your window?
No, a couple of windows up. They looked through. They looked through quite a few windows, come to think of it. They sort of tried to get every angle they could. So, yeah, they did look through our window.
How did the other passengers react, sir?
Well, actually, it was quite calm in the plane. And sort of like a few, like a bit like us, like what was that and what's going on, and a few heads popping up and all that sort of thing. But no one screamed or went into great panic or anything.
You said it happened about 10 minutes after takeoff. Was it at the stage before or after normally the captain says, I've turned the seat belts off, you're free to move around the cabin?
Well, I think it was before, and that was probably a good thing because it didn't allow people to get up and walk up to the midsection of the plane where the wing was, and all sort of have a look at the damage. So a lot of people didn't see the damage, so they basically flew the rest of the flight not knowing what actually had happened. They couldn't actually see any damage. But because we were looking at it the whole time, we sort of, we had that image the whole way home, so that was a little bit more nerve-wracking than for some of the other passengers, I'd imagine.
How many announcements did you get from the pilot between the time of the first announcement and the safe landing?
Oh, probably 6 announcements. And they were fantastic. The pilots were really good. They kept us up to date with what they knew at the time. They tried to hide that they'd lost an engine or something. There had been an explosion. They were quite upfront with us, we believed. And they were calm as long. The crew was quite calm. A couple of the crew members, I thought, were a little bit nervous. But I think under the circumstances where these things happen, you really don't know how to react. Some people are much more emotional than others, but everyone was I think everyone was pretty good generally and kept us all calm.
Well, we know that your son's exclamation, and we know your reaction. How did your husband handle himself?
Oh, well, he was really good. He thought that we were both pretty nervous, so I think he thought it was his job to try and stay pretty calm and to help us, in case we needed his support. So he was very supportive, and but he said later that he was extremely nervous as well, but he just couldn't really afford to show it.
And a quick question from us, Sue. Always grateful for your time. Take it you're on the way to the airport. How do you feel about getting on another plane, and when will the plane get back to Melbourne?
Gee, we've got I think it's about a 9:30 flight this morning. We're not that nervous, really. I mean, how many times does this ever happen? Chances of it happening in Kenwell, I mean, that's got to be pretty slim. You know, so we're not really that nervous about getting on another plane, as long as it's an A380.
And what time's the plane get back into Melbourne, do you know?
Oh, no, we don't know that.
That's okay. Leave Singapore.
So imagine, being an 8-hour flight or something.
Okay, Sue, we thank you so much, and what more can we say other than safe travels?